Welcome to the Campus Fellowship Podcast. This is a podcast interview where we seek to highlight for you a student's testimony that we think will be a blessing and an encouragement to your life. My name is Jacob Bennett. I serve as the executive director and of this Campus Fellowship ministry, which exists to equip local churches to implement and sustain dynamic disciple-making college ministries whose students worship God and change the world. Today is Amanda Faye. So Amanda, welcome.
Hey.
Amanda, what campus ministry are you a part of?
I'm from the DMACC campus.
Sweet. Which DMACC campus?
Ankeny.
The Ankeny
Yes.
campus. That's an important distinction because there's like 5 or 6 different campuses throughout Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, so before we get into your story, tell us a little bit, who were some of the people in your campus group this last fall?
Yeah, so this last fall, there was Josh, Kara, Savannah Parker, and Laura Jensen, as well as like Sam Norris, some of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And what's like something fun you guys did that was memorable for you?
Towards the end of the year, we played volleyball a lot on campus. That was a lot of fun. We would do speed volleyball, and we'd have like random people join us, and then we'd go out for ice cream like at Culver's, and we just have a huge table of all of us lined up, and it was just a sweet time. But.
Okay, so I have a couple quick hitter questions for you. Do you play the sandwich game?
Yes.
Oh, hear that, DMACC students? Amanda Faye in on the sandwich game. So
yeah, now that's public.
We are asking everyone these questions,
okay,
so just to make it clear, where you stand on all the important issues of the day. Is it spike ball or round net?
Spike ball.
Spike ball. Do you play?
I try. I'm not like the best. But I'm there, so yeah.
Okay, and then another question for you. Is water wet?
Oh, yes.
Yes? Okay.
Deep questions, man.
Deep, I know. Last one. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, man. This one might stump me. I want to say it's its own, individual thing. At Subway, they have sub sandwiches, which I guess, with the sub sandwiches, they aren't cut all the way. So, and they call them sandwiches. So, actually, maybe I take that back. Maybe it is a sandwich.
Wow, okay, so it seems like we're having a little bit of an existential crisis here about it. Is this a sandwich or not?
Yeah.
I hadn't probably thought it through as well, but you're thinking very critically right now. So, okay. So let's transition a little bit. Let's talk about your faith. Tell us, how did you come to know Jesus?
Yeah. So I was adopted into a family. Both my parents are Christian, and I grew up going to church. I would go every Sunday, and I was involved with youth group, and all the summer camps. I loved going to summer camps, and they preached the gospel, and everything. So I was around it my whole life. I was very involved. I knew all the things, but I didn't want to read the Bible for myself, or whenever anyone would ask me anything personal about knowing Christ, I didn't really have a response. Or if I did, it was very surface level. So I kind of went throughout my whole most of my life just in that area of the idea of Christianity, and I also grew up going to the Christian school, so it was literally everything I did, even in sports, so I was just used to it.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Oskaloosa Christian School.
Oskaloosa. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Oski.
Yes, Oski. Yeah. But then I went to high school, which I ended up going to the public school and everything. And there I got connected with Youth for Christ. And during that time I was on the basketball team. And the assistant coach, she was the leader of Youth for Christ. And she played a really big role in my life, in my relationship with the Lord. But yeah, so I like helped her out with those things, but like still I didn't have like an actual relationship with the Lord, and that kind of carried over to like my freshman year of college. I like wanted to get like plugged into a like Christian community. Like I enjoyed like what everyone was about and everything, but it never went deeper. So I was like a part of another college ministry, and like I had the idea or like the goal to be like go to church every Sunday, go do these things, like but like my life was not evident like of like the actual fruit of like surrendering my life to Christ, because I like immediately when I came to college, like I was involved in like the party scene, got into like unhealthy relationships, but I still like would go to like events on like Thursday nights, and then I would go to like parties or things like that right after. And my life was just very like two-faced.
Yeah.
And like I was reading the Bible, like I was trying to have like quiet times, but I was just like blinded, like I couldn't like see my sin, nor did I have the like desire to like actually repent. Like I knew they were wrong, but I just didn't want to give it up, like actually surrender to my life with the way it was going, and that was really hard, just because like I didn't want to acknowledge it, but eventually that like came kind of like to a stop when like the end of my first semester of college. It was like during winter break. I was home for most of the break for a surgery I had, so there's not really a whole lot I could do, like I can't really go out and see friends or like anything, and I just remember having like a conversation with my dad. He's been really impactful in my walk with the Lord, like even growing up, like he's always like encouraged me to like spend time with the Lord, and he's like shown that in like how he lives, but he never like forced it, but like it was like, yes, I would go to church with my family, but like he understands that it's like deeper than that too, so he'd encourage me to like spend the time reading in the Word, like just 10 minutes a day and everything. So back to like winter break and everything, we had like a good like deep conversation, and that really sparked like something in me to like actually think about the Lord and like what does it actually mean to follow him, and since I couldn't really move too well, or like I was just stuck, like there's nowhere to go, and like I was just at the like ends of myself, because I remember as well, like throughout my like first semester I would like journal and be like, I don't want to like live like this and everything, but like for me myself, like I can't get myself out of that situation, like there's nothing that I can actually do, so that was like a repetitive thing in my life, but yeah, back to like winter break and everything, I started reading the Word, and I remember like reading like for all have fallen short of the glory of God, like we've all sinned, like there's nothing I can do to like save myself, because if that were so
true.
Yeah, like if that were so, then like we'd all be our own gods, and like that would not make any sense, like if we just are like our own gods living our own life, like there has to be one God, and it is true in the Word, like that Jesus is the one, like there's like no other way,
and he's perfectly obeyed everything.
Yes.
For us.
Yeah. And it was like so clear, like reading the Word, I was able to actually see that, and like have an understanding of that. And so around that time is like when I surrendered my life to the Lord, because before, like I was like, I don't want to live like that, but I didn't know the way out, until I actually read the Word for myself, and like with the impact of like other people, and the gospel, like the actual truth, not just like my truth, is what made an actual like heart change, But
do you remember like what you were reading, like what book or what passage?
Yeah. I know 1 John, like 1, like the end of that, like 5 through 10. That was really convicting. Like I'm not gonna word it fully, but like it's like saying like if we claim we have fellowship with Christ, but like our life doesn't reflect that, then like we're calling him a liar.
Yeah.
And I was like,
say we have no sin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have no sin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we're calling him a liar, and I'm like, well, this is true about Jesus, so like he's not a liar, so I'm the one that's like deceiving myself, like my heart is full of sin, like but
so you were involved in a campus ministry of some sort, living a double life. You go through this hard experience over winter break, and forces you to kind of slow down, reanalyze. You read the Word of God, and it speaks to your heart, and you sense that there's a heart change that's needed. And what happens then when you come back to campus? Like, how did things change from there? Yeah.
Well, I guess even before winter break, I started coming around to campus fellowship a little bit. So after winter break, I knew like I wanted to actually get plugged in. And like the environment didn't change, like the place I was living didn't change, but my heart had. So like that affected like some of the friendships around me. But like the Lord helped me through that, because he gave me like a greater joy in like life. So I was able to like grow in community, despite like where I lived still.
And I'm taking where you lived was a particular stumbling block maybe for that double life?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, just the environment, the people I was around for that like season, that was pretty hard. But it also was cool because I could be like a light for the people around me. And before it hadn't, like I was just going along with things. So that was a really sweet time. Like it was hard, but it was sweet because I knew that the Lord had changed me, and like I had a confidence other than like in myself. Like, but yeah.
Yeah. How did your maybe past friends take that, as far as maybe you're not hanging around with them as much, you're not going to the parties with them as much? How did that affect your relationships with them?
Yeah. It was like kind of awkward, like, but it was a cool opportunity because I could like explain why, like I didn't want to do those things. Like I still love them and wanted to be around them, but like I didn't want to partake in those things, not because I wanted to be a better person, but like it was like because of what the Lord has done for my life, like dying on the cross. Like why would I want to continue in sin? I know it talks about that like in Romans 7. Like I did still stumble, but like the like continual like change that he's made in me, like I actually had hope to like want to change.
Yeah. But no, it's really sweet. I think there's a lot of first year students coming to college, and those first few weekends, there's probably a lot of Christians who they go out and they go to parties. They want to make some friends. They maybe make some choices that they regret, and that can be a really hard thing, I think, for some people who get first of all into that, to think about getting out of it. It's like sometimes it's not just changing the activity. It's like there's a cost of like I might not have the same kind of friends, as like these people might not be my friends anymore if I don't do these things. And just hearing what you were saying about like that your motivation had to be about honoring Christ, that was the most important relationship to you. I think a lot of people can identify with that as being like, what's really most valuable in life? What relationship is most important? That's a good question I think that people should be asking themselves. Well, maybe, as you think about like people in that situation. What might be like one thing you'd encourage them to do if they were to think about it? Should I start seeking God in a campus group or in a campus ministry? What's one thing you might want to share with them just to encourage them to do that?
Yeah, I definitely think community is like really important, and like even if you have questions about God, like going to community will be really beneficial, because there's going to be all sorts of people at like different walks in life, and I think it'll help like that individual realize like they're actually not alone, and it's okay to like ask questions and come to things like not knowing, because the first year of college is a very interesting time. There's so many things being thrown at you, and there's like different ways you can go, but I think like the community you can have like with any like Bible believing college ministry, it like shows like the like how Christ is like unifying, like how he unifies us like in a family, and that community like reflects that, so it's just like a way like to see God, but then ultimately like while you're in that community like it will go deeper into like a personal relationship, and like hopefully people will be leading you in that way, not just like a community just to have like friends. Like yes, friends are good, but like they'll lead you deeper into a relationship with Christ.
That's very well put. I couldn't agree more. So, and I think to some degree it's like we can idolize relationships. Even relationships in the church can become an idol, and so understanding that it's pursuing Christ that is the most core thing of our community is really important. So, well, thank you so much, Amanda, for joining us. And listeners, if you found this encouraging, please subscribe, give us a rating on your podcast app, and don't waste your time. Get involved today in a campus ministry and especially one of their campus groups.